Wow, there's a lot of clerics, aren't there? Death, viable, but milquetoast. It's really not built to be put into the hands of players. This one's meh overall. Nature. At one point, I think I said that nature was like bottom barrel. But here's the problem. I always keep... Yeah, that's right. That's why. This only works for beasts or plants. That's so hyper-specific. And once per, you can grant them resist. That's kind of all right. Slightly flexible in here with Divine Strike. You randomly get proficiency with heavy armor. This Channel Divinity is not super great. Master of Nature is... I would say viable, but milquetoast at best. I would probably personally say it's a D. I would probably say that nature is like high D. Low as C. There's so many other clerics. Why would you do this? In fact, why would you do nature when Tempest is around? That gives you not just heavy armor, but martial weapons as well. That gives you destructive wrath. You can use your channel divinity to deal maximum damage with the spell. That gets call lightning. And there's already so much synergy happening in here. You're dealing... What you see, whenever you roll lightning or thunder damage, and then it gives you a way to do it right here without spending a spell. And then you get control in here randomly at 6th level. Sweet. All right. I hit you so hard with lightning, I push you up to 10 feet away. Hell yeah. Another way for you to deal lightning damage, right near thunder damage. Yes. You gain a flying speed equal to your current walking speed whenever you're not in ground or underground or indoors. Decent. I would say decent at best. But like the rest of the package is so well put together, blends in seamlessly in here. You are a high heavy striker with decent AoE options, I'll say. I think that Tempest, if we're looking at nature, there's really no reason to be playing this one. It's just not. Chat, where's it going? It could be either one of these for me, S or A. You all tell me. Break my brain tie happening right here. I feel like if it goes in A, it's at the very, very top portion of A. If Storm Cleric had better lightning or thunder spells, he'd love it. A. S, S, N. A. I think it goes above Totem Warrior. Easy top A. D. S for the dip, A for the full class. All right, so we'll go with A. War Domain. There's some other stuff they can do with War Domain to make it pretty cool. I don't think that War Domain is bad. It could just use some love. The worst part of it right now is that capstone. Yeah, you gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks. Why did they do that? Whoa, why did they do that? Why did they put those last two fucking words in there? This one does not really evoke the intended fantasy to me. There's decent stuff happening in here, but like, meh. Why did they give it Flame Strike? Just nuke the spell. Get out of here. There we go. Notably poor. Yeah, for your capstone to get just completely lost like that. That's, yeah. Yeah, it has Flame Strike randomly. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I think that War Domain is actually pretty piss poor. Grave Domain. It is very hard to kill a party that has a Grave Domain Cleric because, as it turns out, bonus action at range Spare the Dying is quite goddamn good. Like, wow, holy shit, this is very strong, it turns out. All you'd have to do to see how good it goes is to watch what happens with Critical Role Season 2. Their party got 2 clerics at one point, or, well, basically for the majority of the campaign. And that team is fucking nutty strong. Caduceus, that just basically insta-reses anybody that's going down. And then Jester's able to get like a real quick heal in there. So they have 2 instances of their party getting defibrillated real quick in the game. This is so goddamn good. What a crazy, fucking awesome feature right in here. And that's enough. Absolutely, yeah, that's enough. And yet, they keep getting more and more and more powerful stuff with this one. This is a really tight subclass all put together. The 6th level is awesome, yeah. As a reaction, when you or a creature you can see within 30 feet of you suffers a critical hit, you can turn that into a normal hit. Any effects triggered by a critical hit are canceled. You know how many goddamn times that's going to come in clutch for you? Yeah, she did heal. She did heal. It was just, you know, spiritual weapon was the more fun thing. If you wanted to play a kind of more like necromancy cleric, don't go death domain. Go grave domain. I promise you, this is a pretty fucking goddamn great subclass. I promise you, this one is pretty goddamn good. Order. Order, unfortunately, lives in the shadow of Twilight and Peace. But this is a very good subclass. Command and heroism at first level are, yeah, already very nice. You're getting proficiency with heavy armor. They're very early on. However, they're getting voice of authority right here. This is a key piece of a combination in order to make rogue go absolutely off the rails, where like and I haven't seen this in action, but essentially how I understand it works is like you pop a spell, maybe like command or whatever, and then whenever you do that, you choose that ally. Yeah, you target an ally. Yeah, I haven't actually seen this in operation, but apparently this is like a crazy great combo. The rogue is going to trigger their sneak attack whenever you do this order, which means that they're going to get their sneak attack off at least twice per round, right? Well, I mean, typically twice per round. Yeah. And if you're able to set it up to where that rogue does have a means of getting advantage on the attack roll, yada, 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 right? I really dig what this one wants to do. The Order's Demand Channel Divinity is probably going to fall off later to one bonus action for the casting. That's right. The way that this one is working out is just so good, guys. If you do want to play that tactician, this is probably the best way to do it in 5e. I wish it could have been Mastermind, Ranger, or Rogue, but unfortunately, it's going to go over here to Order Domain. This is actually definitely in S, and don't be really thinking about Peace and Twilight whenever we're talking about that, because those subclasses are going to overperform. Order is very much an S tier. It's just the fact that it got printed in the same book as Peace and Twilight. Yeah, I would say Order Domain. Don't forget that this one exists, because it's pretty goddamn good. Trickery Domain. I'm going to put Trickery at the bottom of B. It essentially doesn't have an 8th level feature. This is just the PHP one. The new Trickery is up here. The way that they changed Trickery absolutely goes up in here, very much verging on me thinking that it belongs in Overpowered. Current Trickery Domain and the Player's Handbook, not great. Absolutely not great. The coolest parts of it are the Channel Divinity, or the Invoke Duplicity and all that, but we are seeing it get a huge glow up. This is going to be a big hit for the new Player's Handbook, I promise you. But as it currently stands, current Trickery really just does not work out very well. It does suck. This would be a really fun one to have in a great state. There's a big problem that we realized with cleric design. If you watch out, a lot of the clerics that were like, wow, that doesn't actually feel super great, have one thing in common. They have a Channel Divinity at 2nd and 6th level, which, like, what's another one? Nature Domain? Doesn't happen over here. Is it Knowledge Domain? Yeah, 2nd, 6th level. Here you go. War Domain, 2nd and 6th level. So whenever they do that double Channel Divinity thing like that, it means that you essentially you're losing out on a class feature because it's tied into a 2 per shorter long resource. It doesn't feel good. The Cloak of Shadows isn't terrible, but like, God, this one is so much fun. Out of these two options right here, this is like trying to decide who's your favorite child. They're both really fun. They both don't need to take up the same resource here. Divine Strike, it deals poison damage. That should be enough right there to tell you why this one is not fantastic. Improved Duplicity, kind of all right. 4 duplicates of yourself instead of 1 whenever you use that. It's cute. All right, it's cute, but like, it's just not really gonna play out all that well. Doesn't Base Ranger give you that? Give you Cloak of Shadows? I think it's at like 11th level or something like that. But yeah, the poison damage is so bad on this. It really is. I think the Trickery Domain might go down in C, but like, we're gonna say very low B, God, so low on B. Arcana is actually quite good, but everyone keeps forgetting it's a thing. You're banishing with your channel divinity celestials, elemental, fae, or fiends. This is actually quite good. Spellbreaker, yeah, there's a way for you to just do a freebie channel divinity. Not freebie channel divinity, freebie. It's not even counterspell. It's like dispel, but just better. Arcane Mastery is actually pretty good too. You're getting a lot of spell flexibility in this as cleric identity here. I'm gonna put it in A. I'm gonna put it around the top. It's probably just below Tempest. Knowledge. I think this is one of Ross's favorites. So Ross is probably gonna hate me with what I'm gonna do with this. See how it has 2 channel divinities, 2nd and 6th level. I don't like this odd flexibility thing happening in here. Why do they keep doing this? Oh no, I hate this type of feature right here. It just feels like this is gonna infringe on too much shit. Oh god. Yeah, it's a reverse the ear tweet. Yeah. You spend at least 1 minute. That's right. The object reading and the area reading. In games where it's just like nothing but exploration and interaction, this one might be kind of decent. In the majority of D&D games, this is probably below war. It is kind of fun. It would have been cool to see them explore that a little bit more. I just don't think it's quite gonna hit it. Okay, here we go. I would actually rather somebody play a Twilight Domain cleric than an Eloquence bard at my table, though. So, Twilight Domain. Look, this is absolutely the most... In combat, absolutely the most busted subclass. There's a few combos that can definitely pop off with, like, Chronergy Wizard that are really, really good. Nobody does it quite... Nobody goes off the rails as quickly as Twilight Domain. This is giving you everything. It's giving you way too much shit way too early on. Martial weapons and heavy armor, so good. Eyes of the Night, how odd that they just decided to give you something that's objectively better dark vision than anybody else gets. Vigilant Blessing, advantage on initiative rolls is so incredibly good and it's flexible to give to anybody else, but holy shit. Whenever you get this to 2nd level, this thing is insane. This is the best defensive feature. I would rather, if we're talking about pure power, Twilight Sanctuary, I would rather a player have immunity to a damage type than this fucking feature right here, this early. This is, I think this is probably going to go down as the best cleric feature out of all of 5e. This is insane. And yeah, there's the big gag about how terrible all the flavor text is on this one. You draw on the mystical power of night to rise into the air. Yeah. The night has taught you to be vigilant. This is such bad flavor text it's become a fucking meme. Vigilant Blessing, what were they doing with that one? Twilight Sanctuary, though. Holy hell. Everybody, I keep seeing this stuff anytime I brought this one up where people are like, you're probably just overstating how good it really is, because you as a DM could always just say that, man, shut up, nerd. All right, this is that busted. Everybody's in agreement. This is too good for the fucking game. We've tried this one out. We've had, 4 years with it? It's fucking busted. It's absolutely fucking busted. Twilight Domain does not deserve to be on any reasonable D&D tables. One thing about Twilight Sanctuary that you hate how people try to claim it's not absolutely broken and busted. Yeah, it is. We've tried it for 4 years now. That needs a complete rewrite. Rewrite. Wow. At the very least, this should have required concentration. It's boring, and the only people that are trying to make the argument that Twilight is reasonable are people that want to use it to fuck with your tables. I'm telling you guys, this subclass is, I think, most likely will go down as the strongest subclass for 5e. Forge Domain. I really love this one. I really do. I'm going to put Forge Domain probably up above Order. One of the better cleric tanks. I love the fantasy that it's evoking. I have gotten so much use out of this Artisan's Blessing right here. Soul of the Forge can be redundant with some of the race options that you get, but while wearing heavy armor, you gain a +1 bonus to AC. Yes, it's so damn good. The Divine Strike, the fact that it deals fire damage, can be a little bit weak, but meh. This giving you straight up immunity to fire damage, and then while wearing heavy armor, you have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing. God, this needs to just be bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. They need to get rid of that. Overall, God, this is just one of my favorite subclasses in the entire game. It has a niche. It sticks to that niche so goddamn well. I really do dig. Yeah, and Forged Domain Cleric can get to ridiculous armor classes. Yeah, if you go with Warforged Forged Domain and do the heat metal yourself while you're immune to fire damage and just grapple shit, I swear you will not have a better goddamn time playing a cleric than that right there. Oh my god, it's hilarious. Yeah, and Forge gets animate objects. Yep. I'm telling you guys, Forge is so fucking good. I love this cleric. Yeah, I adore that cleric. All right, peace. Peace domain. Yeah, is that the tap. Okay, yeah, this fucking Balm of Peace. As an action, you can move up to your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. And when you move within 5 feet of another creature during this action, you can restore a number of hit points to that creature equal to 2d6 plus your wisdom modifier. A creature can receive this healing only once whenever you take this action. This is tricky. This is disruptive. Yeah, it is disruptive. This is just so strong. It's going to make people want to just spam short rest to make sure that they always have this no matter what. Protective Bond, allowing you to 30 feet. Yeah, you're spreading out Misty Step. This allows you to reprioritize targets for enemies. This is very, very good. The range gets bigger, right? Yeah. The creature has resistance to the damage it takes instead. Is very, very good. Emboldening Bond is good in the sense that this works with Bless. While you have this, you can also cast Bless on them, and then they have a 2d4 bonus to these checks instead. The proficiency is kind of whatever. I don't really agree that it's better than Twilight. I think that Twilight is a lot more disruptive. If I would, how would I change it? Peace? I'd probably start with that one Channel Divinity because it doesn't really make much sense to me overall. Peace had a weird life cycle too. If I'm remembering this right, this was originally the Unity Cleric, and then before that it was the Love Cleric, and they did some really kind of creepy stuff with it in the Love Cleric. They've since changed the narrative and now it's the Peace Cleric. Yeah, I still think Twilight is probably more insane. Oh, just generally overall. Yeah, Tabaxi Peace Cleric build. Yeah, the Love Cleric at first that got Charm Person. The freaking Roofie Cleric. Yeah. I am telling y'all what a goddamn subclass. Wow, Light Domain is good. Light Domain is one of those ones that'll sneak up on you. Despite the fact that it gets Flame Strike, alright? Fuck this spell. Everything about this subclass is so incredibly good, but I'm telling you all, this capstone, you read this, and you're like, oh, yeah, that seems alright. This capstone is fucking wild. The big issue with this capstone, it is Fire Domain. Yeah, no, and that's the cool thing. We've already got a whole lot of Radiant and Holy Clerics. Give me fucking fire. Yes, thank you. This Corona of Light. You can use your action to activate an aura of sunlight that lasts for 1 minute or until you dismiss it using another action. You emit bright light in a 60-foot radius and dim light 30 feet beyond that. That is like every standard battle mat. The entire battlefield is going to be covered. Your enemies in the bright light have disadvantage on saving throws against any spells that deal fire or radiant damage. The one thing that's pretty easy to glaze over here is that this isn't tied into a resource. You can just fucking do this whenever you want. You can turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off, whatever. And this works so well for you, and it works so well for any other casters that are on your team. On the entire battlefield, as long as y'all are dishing out fire or radiant damage, this thing works. And they have disadvantage on the saving throws against it. Fucking wild. Absolutely wild. This is a capstone with unlimited potential. I say unlimited. It needs fire or radiant damage. Alright, but like, holy hell, what a feature. Absolutely what a feature. Light Domain goes up very, very high for me. Life Domain, it's a little bit bland, but you know what? It does the thing it needs to do. Some people were saying that the good berry thing should have worked with that. It doesn't. Y'all know it doesn't. That don't work. That don't work that way. Life Domain, it's the heal bot. All right, you're up here really. Yeah, it's good. It does the thing it needs to do. There we go. Now, oh, all right. Yeah, it's been, yeah.